Credit policies are seen as vital for businesses that are larger with substantial ledgers and credit control teams and so on. But I suspect many smaller businesses don't see the need to go to the trouble of creating one, do they, Laura?
Wow, if that is somebody's viewpoint then, Phil, I would say that they're wrong. It's quite the opposite, really. It's important for every business to have a credit policy. And if we're being clear about what a credit policy actually is, it's not necessarily the case that always one shoe fits all, but the basic and main principles are always the same. So it might be the case that we're dealing with a 50-page document that outlines the details exactly of how that credit policy should work in terms of from the moment that an order is placed and processed to if you're looking at suing potentially a customer that's been outstanding that hasn't paid and what that process should look like and how it should be followed. But then it might be the case that we're just dealing with a one-pager that simplifies exactly how payment, what we should be doing if payment goes overdue. And it should be something that's really simple and effective that everyone within that company is able to understand and follow.
Okay, so what are the benefits to the business of having one?
Yeah, I think overall it would be to minimise the risk in granting credit and then also maximising on the cash that you're able to recover.
You talked about having a one-page policy, and I like that idea because people can cope with one page easier than they can cope with 20 or 30. But what would you say should be included in a one-page policy?
Yeah, I think so. Ultimately, you want to be having basically your list of your do's and your don'ts. So your do's would be things like always making sure that you've carried out your due diligence, your credit checks on those credit reports. I have no shame in shouting out top service here at this point, utilising our services to be able to make sure that we can give you all the worthwhile information to make well-informed decisions about lending credit. Another always would be always making sure that you've got the company registration number if you're dealing with a limited company. Another always would be confirming the payment terms in writing. You always want to be making sure that you're addressing it to the person that's responsible for making those payments, and you also want to check the details that's on the credit application form as well. So then that brings me on to our don'ts, which would be to never do work immediately under the promise for payment. Never make any assumptions about payment being made and that it's going to be paid to you on time as you would expect it to be. Never be fooled by somebody saying to you that they're a friend of the owners or that they are the boss, and ultimately never make exceptions.
Great advice, Lawrence. Someone once summed this up for me as the ABC of risk assessment, which was assume nothing, believe nobody, and challenge everything.
I like it.
I love your never make exceptions point. Across my career, it's been amazing how many times that a salesman has said that their particular order or their potential customer should be treated differently. And I remember a small courier company I was dealing with when I was small business commissioner. And they had a problem where they kept taking orders from local businesses, delivering parcels and then not getting paid. And we talked about it, and they introduced a really simple rule. Their credit policy was one statement, which was basically never deliver a parcel unless you know who we're going to invoice. And whilst the amounts weren't great, they accumulated into quite large sums, and that made a really significant change because the company bought in to that, and people stopped doing stupid things just saying, we'll deliver it for you, and then who should be asked to pay for it.
And it just goes to show something as simple as that, how effective it can be and the difference that it makes.
Sure, absolutely, If you get the culture running right, it makes a real difference. This is all great advice, and I know that top service advice in all sorts of areas. So I guess people can go to your website to make contact and get more information from you and advice.
You can go on our website. It's got all of our contact details on there. You can also fill in the online page as well to make contact. But if you'd prefer to phone us, you can call us on 01527 518 802.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.